as Kevin said at the top, this wasn't a very exciting week of NFL football in number 8, but we did get a juicy storyline entering Sunday Night Football, and that was Aaron Rodgers playing the Packers for the first time in his career, and Green Bay got the last laugh as the Packers go to Pittsburgh and they depart with a 35-25 victory as Jordan Love, the student, beats the mentor. And after the game, Jordan Love was saying to Aaron Rodgers, I need that, as in, I need that jersey that you're wearing. And Blue wanted it as well. But I just feel bad for Jordan Love in this case because, of course, the one game that he ends up playing, Aaron Rodgers, they are wearing those ugly ass Bumblebee jerseys. Yeah, they're absolutely dreadful. Like, and that's the jersey that Jordan Love is gonna end up having hang on his wall. Like, I did see that a report said that they were gonna exchange jerseys at a later date, and so maybe Jordan or maybe Aaron was the one be like, "You don't want this one, I'll give you a different one." Like, hang it up. We played, but you don't want this one. Because think about it, like that's the one. Kevin, you have the two jerseys hanging behind you. Like that's the jersey that's going to be in. Kaz, you have the Michael Vick jersey as well. But that's the jersey that's going to be hanging up on Jordan Love's wall for decades, and he'll pass it on to his children or grandchildren. And would you want to pass a nasty ass jersey like that throughout the family? I personally wouldn't. So I guess we'll see later on, probably on social media or whatever, from Jordan Love. But point being, Aaron Rodgers goes for revenge in this game, and he does not get it. The Packers win 35-25. And so, Kaz, I'm going to toss this one to you first. What were your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers losing to the team that he will be retiring with one day?
Yeah, I mean, the Packers are good, man. Like, I mean, that's a good team. That's a very complete team. And the Steelers haven't showed us anything, outside of what's expected from the Steelers that would lead anyone to think that they're going to beat the Packers, whether it be in Pittsburgh or in Green Bay. If it was in Green Bay, it would have been worse. But you have a complete football team going against a team that only thrives when you get DK Metcalf going. That's it. If you guys look at the Packers, or not the Packers, but the Steelers offense, when they've had success, it's because DK has gone off. It doesn't matter about the amount of receptions. It's the fact that the guy is getting touchdowns. You contain DK Metcalf, you contain the Steelers. It's that simple. And it kind of sucks for Pittsburgh because they have guys on that defensive side. They have guys on the offensive side outside of DK Metcalf that can make plays. But the problem is they're very one-dimensional. That's it. That's the Steelers. You take away their pass game with DK Metcalf, they're nothing. You saw exactly what happened in the Packers. I mean, they game planned beautifully. On top of that, the Packers are younger, they're faster, they're just better, all around a better team. So I did take the Packers to win, but I really thought that the Steelers would put up a better fight. I thought that it was going to be like a very, down to the wire, gritty, hard-nosed game, but it's like, no, the Packers just had their way. They did. And you got Tucker Kraft looking like a tight end one in the NFL right now. The dude cannot be stopped. Okay, you got Jordan Love, who's playing well. He's a good quarterback. The Packers defense, I mean, they're literally smothering Aaron Rodgers and that entire Steelers offense to the point to where they need to kind of hope and wish for something big to happen to be in this game. So the Packers, I mean, the better team did win. This is called what it is. The better team did win, but it kind of stinks because if they did still have like a George Pickens, this might be a different story because you're seeing what George is doing over there in Dallas. I don't know why or what possessed them to get rid of him when they got DK Metcalf. Maybe it's a locker room thing, whatever. But I'm like, you guys have George Pickens there. This is a complete different team in my eyes for the better. So the Steelers are a team that they're gonna be riding the ledge the entire way throughout the season. They're never going to just go out there and just outright handle a team that's good. They're not going to go out there and outright just beat a Bills team, beat an Eagles team, beat a Chiefs team. They're not going to. They're going to have the best game of their life to beat good teams. So now you have them playing against the Packers, who's one of the best teams in the NFC. It was never in their cards to win this game. So like, I like the Steelers. I kind of low key root for them a little bit, because I like Aaron Rodgers and I'm a big DK fan as well. But they're not a team they weren't a team that were equipped to beat the Packers, home or away. And so the end result was the end result, and that's just that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you because we talk about my friend Keith a lot on this podcast, and even former co-host Gary or cousin Cordell. I know a lot of Steeler fans, and some Steeler fans have been riding high this season. And I think about that Bengals game on Thursday night as like a perfect example of the course of this Steelers season. Like Aaron Rodgers was out there slinging it on Thursday Night Football. I remember the first touchdown of the game. I texted all my Steeler fan friends, and I was just like, that's vintage Rodgers. He's rolling out to his right, throws a fucking dart right to whichever receiver it was. And I was just like, that is vintage Rodgers right there. And for the Steelers, it just seems like if the offense is humming, then the defense is having a bad day. If the defense is having a great day, then the offense can't get anything going. And so this Steelers team really reminds me of the later years of Ben Roethlisberger, where it's like the Steelers will be good enough, and you kind of already hit on this, Kaz, but the Steelers will be good enough to get them into the playoffs, but whether or not they will be good enough to get them past the first round is the biggest question. Because that same night on Thursday Night Football a couple of weeks ago, when I was texting with my friend Keith, he said, "Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. No one can tell me anything otherwise." And I was like, "Well, that'd be great for you because we live in Northern California and it'll be in Santa Clara again this year." So I was like, "You can drive down the street and go watch your team play in the Super Bowl." Then they proceeded to lose to the Bengals and Joe Flacco on Thursday Night Football. And the Steelers, they are just not consistent enough to be considered real contenders, because the thing I said to him at the time was, okay, what's going to happen when you play the Bills? What's going to happen when you play the Chiefs? What's going to happen when you play insert another contending team? Even what's going to happen when the Steelers play the Colts? I never thought I would pose that question, but yet here we are when they stand at 7-1. And so the Steelers, to me, are playoff contenders, yes, but they're not Super Bowl contenders. And a game like this proved it. And Kaz, when it comes to the Packers, I've talked enough about the losing team. When it comes to the Packers, Micah Parsons is looking like a tremendous addition for them. Duh. But he has just fit in perfectly. He has been the defensive anchor that they have needed. And now Jordan Love has turned into a Pro Bowl quarterback, maybe even be an all-pro quarterback by the end of this season. And with the thing I like the most about this Packers team is the addition of Josh Jacobs was great. But when they had all those young receivers, I think, was it last year that they had like 2 rookies, like 3 second-year guys, and it was just a bunch of young guys. And when you had that, everyone's like, oh, I don't know who to pick for my fantasy team. Who is this guy? You see Romeo Doubs out there wearing the Guardian cap, and everyone wants to talk about his helmet rather than what he's actually doing out there on the field. But Jordan Love has quickly developed chemistry with all of these guys, and they have proven that they have potential. And that's even adding in Matthew Golden, who just got drafted out of Texas this year, and he hasn't really like blown up this season, but it's because he's just fitting in the offense of a bunch of other guys that already have that chemistry with Jordan Love. And the Packers look like a real contender. I know for me as a 49ers fan, I'm just hoping that my team squeaks into the playoffs. But for you guys as Eagles fans, you may tell me I'm wrong, but I'd be a bit concerned about the Packers when the playoffs come. And so we shall see when that time comes. But before we get there, Kevin, what were your thoughts on the Packers beating the Steelers 35-25 in Aaron Rodgers' first game against his former team?
You mentioned it. If he would have been able to win this game, he would have been one of 2 quarterbacks to beat every team in football. So that would have been something cool to say. But the Packers, like Shaun mentioned, they're doing it with the 3 of us at receiver. They're going out there and they're doing whatever they can. Kaz mentioned it. I think it's time to have those serious conversations about Tucker Kraft. Is he the best tight end in football if everyone's healthy? I'm still probably going to lean Brock Bowers. But with Brock Bowers being out this year, we're seeing Tucker Kraft. And because that wide receiver room is so diminished, Tucker Kraft is the main target. It's Josh Jacobs handing the ball off or throwing the ball to Tucker Kraft. And Jordan Love is showing that when he's healthy, which we all understand is when he's healthy, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the world. Yes, Micah Parsons is a great addition to this defense. I 100% believe that. But we're going to see, can this team really score points? We saw this game in the Dallas game where when they have to score points, they can. When they don't want to score points, Micah Parsons came out and said it early. All they got to do is score 21 points, and this defense isn't going to allow 21 points. So you score 3 touchdowns, there's a good chance we're going to win that game. As far as them being a threat to the Eagles, due to them not having a receiving threat, I don't think so. I think that's going to really hurt them in the long run. I know Christian Watson's back. They're going to get Jalen Reed back. Matthew Golden. They have all these names, but they're not being able to figure it out. So if you, for example, I understand that CeeDee Lamb really struggles against us, but when you only have one weapon, it's easy to take your team out of the game. So for them to only have Tucker Kraft at this moment and Josh Jacobs, it's going to be hard for them to really win games in the playoffs because they're going to take away Tucker Kraft in the playoffs. And it's going to say, Romeo Doubs, go beat us. Christian Watson, go beat us. Jalen Reed come back off the injury if he returns, go beat us. And a lot of these teams that they're playing don't have a Shaun Mitchell and a Cooper DeJean. So I feel like that's going to help as well. But the Packers are a very good team. And in 2 weeks, we'll be sitting here after Monday Night Football game debriefing the game versus the Packers and the Eagles. So it's going to be a good game to see. As long as we can get Saquon Barkley healthy after the bye, I think it's going to be a good game.
I do think it would be a good game, and I'm really looking forward to the playoffs because I have a strong feeling that I'm going to end up watching the playoffs from an unbiased perspective, and that's kind of how I felt watching the MLB World Series earlier between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, where I don't really have a horse in the race on either side. Like, I'm rooting for the Blue Jays because there's a guy who's from Sacramento and went to Sac State on their team. But other than that, I'm just watching good baseball. And you got a guy like Shohei Ohtani who is just absolutely going nuts out there. And so I enjoy watching sports from an unbiased perspective, but it's always fun when I get to see my team in it. And so Aaron Rodgers, he missed out. This was going to be my pop quiz question from last week, but I want the new season of the pop quiz to start when we have Jaevon on the panel as well. But the question was going to be who or Aaron Rodgers, if he beat the Packers, who would he join to as a quarterback who's defeated all 32 teams? And he would join 4 other guys, which is Brett Favre, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning. And so Aaron Rodgers swung and missed on that opportunity this week. Maybe he'll get another chance, but it seems like this is going to be his last season. So probably unlikely.
I'll say me in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, shoot, man, that'd be pretty nuts. Because Kaz and I were just talking about. Yeah, right. We sure wouldn't. Yeah, Gary would pop back up on the podcast just to say my Steelers.